So Chris, how long were you in the Army for, and how long did you serve overseas in Iraq for?
I was in the Army for 3 years, 16 weeks. I served overseas in Iraq for 12 months.
Okay. And did you personally know anyone that was on psychiatric drugs, or were you yourself psychiatric drugs? Did you know anyone that claimed they had PTSD when you came back?
Not too many people claimed PTSD, but after we got back, there were a few people diagnosed, me included. I didn't end up taking any psychiatric drugs, but there were a few people that definitely did.
Okay. And I'm sure you're aware that right now the use of psychiatric drugs in the military and cases of PTSD are at an all-time high. Could you give us an inside look on kind of what you guys deal with over there and the things you have to go through seeing war firsthand? Because that stuff can really take a toll on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, psychologically being on edge, you know, for 12 months solid will get to you in and of itself, not to mention, you know, having to deal with car bombs, IEDs, worrying about RKG-3s, every rooftop, someone could be there, just getting shot at,
yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, that'll wear you down psychologically.
Yeah, definitely. It's real that, you know, people come back and having to kill somebody or knowing that they could be killed any minute really takes a toll on somebody, and I don't think a lot of people understand that, what you guys go through. So.
Yeah.
With the side effects that these medications carry, such as hallucinations, mania, psychosis, suicidal thoughts, homicidal thoughts, do you really think it's a smart idea for our troops to be put on these drugs when they're already so close to being pushed over the edge with the things you guys have to go through and deal with? I mean, do you think that's a smart idea?
Not personally, no, not at all, especially with how easily it is diagnosed. For instance, I was diagnosed via a post-deployment survey, I believe, that contained 30 questions. Mm-hmm. And that was about it, multiple choice. Apparently I answered them wrong and I have PTSD.
Because I know you mentioned last time that a lot of the people in your platoon, it was kind of their last resort, so to speak. So when they came out of the Army and they went back on the streets, they picked up previous habits and stuff like that. So. Yeah, a lot of, especially in the infantry, a lot of the people in there are or were addicted to drugs before they got in. Mm-hmm. So giving them Schedule III narcotics is probably not optimum. Yeah. Especially, you know, for if they're already going through psychological problems. Mm-hmm. Definitely, I agree. Right now, the official stats are 1 in 6 service members are on psychiatric drugs. If you do the math, I mean, that's a lot of money coming in. Who do you think is really profiting from this? Because it's not really the troops that are profiting. What's your thoughts behind that?
Yeah, big pharmaceutical companies, the Department of Defense contracts out for them. I'm sure there's billions of dollars to be made on that side of the ball. You know, between regular inoculations and these kind of psychiatric drugs, I would imagine there's quite a bit of money involved.
Yeah, definitely. Financially, it's something else. Overall, from your viewpoint, from someone who served overseas, what do you think the best way for someone like yourself or someone who's coming back from serving and is having problems with PTSD or whatever, what do you think is the best way for them to seek help that's in their best interest?
Well, as hard as it is for most of us, getting in groups and talking to other veterans, you know, about what you went through, what they've been through, you realize that you're not the only one that was there, that's going through it. It's pretty commonplace, actually. So pretty much just getting together with other veterans who are like-minded, deployed also. Even World War II veterans. I've been to groups with Korean and Vietnam veterans that are still talking about the problems they're still facing.
Definitely. How did you deal with it yourself, though? Just curious, how did you deal with it yourself without taking psychiatric medications and going to psychiatrists and psychologists and all that? How did you deal with it yourself coming back from war and the things you had experienced?
Well, at first I did, you know, the soldier thing. I drank it away. But after that, you know, eventually got to face the demons. But I went into it fully knowing and prepared for what I was going to do, what I was going to see, because I've studied history, war, all of that my whole life. So it made it a little bit easier. Obviously, the shock of actually being there is way different than studying it. So there was quite a bit of a shock on that front. But yeah, just kind of working my way through it, talking to people, just realizing you're not alone in it really helps. Definitely. It makes a huge difference.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you came back, and that's it. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Cool.